Picture this. A powerful CEO, strutting around like she owns a world, makes one decision that sends her entire company crashing down. One single choice. One colossal mistake. And the worst part? It all started with her firing the one person she should have begged to stay. This isn't just any story. It's a wild ride of arrogance, betrayal, and a twist so juicy you'll be glued to your screen. So, grab a snack, settle in, and let's unpack this jaw-dropping tale of a Karen CEO who thought she could outsmart everyone, only to learn a lesson she'll never forget. Imagine a bustling tech company. Sleek offices, glowing computer screens, and a team churning out cutting-edge designs. This place is a gold mine, raking in millions thanks to one product. A product so unique it's the envy of every competitor. But here's the kicker. The heart of that product, the secret sauce that makes it unbeatable, doesn't belong to the company. Nope, it belongs to one man. An older guy, quiet, unassuming, and disabled. He's been with the company for decades, pouring his soul into every project. His mind, a treasure trove of ideas. His hands, they've crafted designs that change the game. But to the new CEO, he's just a name on a payroll, a name she's about to erase. Now let's meet the CEO. She's the kind of person you'd spot a mile away, loud, demanding, and always acting like she's the smartest in the room. People whisper Karen behind her back, and for good reason. She storms into meetings, barking orders, cutting corners, and eyeing anyone who doesn't fit her vision. To her, the company's a machine, and she's here to make it leaner, meaner, faster. Profits over people, always. And that elderly employee, the one with the cane, the one who moved a little slower, he's the first on her chopping block. Why keep someone who looks past their prime when she can hire younger, cheaper talent? That's her logic. That's her plan. And, oh, is she wrong? This man isn't just any employee. He's the backbone of the company's success. Those designs that keep the cash flowing, they're his, not just his work, his property. See, years ago, when he was pouring late nights into perfecting the company's star product, he was smart. He patented his designs. Legally, those patents are his, locked up tight under his name. The company uses them, sure, but only because he's allowed it. He's been loyal, letting his employer profit from his genius, while he clocks in day after day. But loyalty? That's a one-way street with the CEO. She doesn't care about his history. She doesn't bother to check his file. All she sees is an old man who doesn't fit her shiny new vision. So she makes her move. Fire him. Clear the dead weight. Simple, right? Oh, not even close. What she doesn't know, what she couldn't even dream of, is the storm she's about to unleash. Those patents, they're not just pieces of paper. They're the key to everything. Without them, the company's golden product is dead in the water. No production, no sales, no profits. And this man, he's not the pushover she thinks. He's got a spine of steel and a plan of his own. When she swings the axe, he doesn't just walk away quietly. He takes his patents with him. And that's when the real chaos begins. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's slow down and savor how this all starts to unravel. Think about the nerve of the CEO. She's new, barely knows the company's history, yet she's ready to gut it like a fish. She sits in her corner office, sipping overpriced coffee, signing off on decisions that'll haunt her. Firing this man isn't just cruel, it's reckless. She doesn't pause to ask why he's been around so long. Doesn't wonder what he's contributed. She just sees his age, his disability, and assumes he's expendable. It's the kind of move that makes your blood boil. You probably met someone like this. A boss, a manager, someone who thinks they know it all and tramples over everyone else. But this time, the underdog's got an ace up his sleeve. Let's paint the scene. It's a regular Monday. The office hums with activity. Employees tap away at keyboards. Phones ring, and the coffee machine's working overtime. The elderly man, let's call him John for now, sits at his desk. His workspace is cluttered with old notebooks, sketches, and a photo of his late wife. He's tweaking a design. Same as always, his hands steady despite the tremor that comes with age. John's not loud or flashy. He doesn't brag about his patents or throw his weight around. He just does his job day in, day out. But today's different. Today, a memo lands in his inbox. It's curt, cold, and straight from the CEO's desk. Meeting, 2 p.m. My office. No explanation, just a summons. John adjusts his glasses, puzzled but not worried. He survived layoffs before. He's seen CEOs come and go. He figures it's another routine chat, maybe a new project, maybe a pat on the back for his latest work. Poor guy has no idea what's coming. Across the building, the CEO, let's call her Karen, because, well, it fits, is prepping for war. She's at a list of names, and John's at the top. To her, he's a liability. Too old, too slow, too different. She's already imagined the praise she'll get for streamlining the team. In her mind, this is a slam dunk. Fire the old guy, free up his salary, and move on. She doesn't even glance at the company's patent records. Doesn't ask HR about John's role. She's too busy practicing her "you're fired" speech. Now, pause for a second. Can you feel the tension? It's like the calm before a thunderstorm. John's just doing his job, unaware he's about to be ambushed. Karen's plotting, convinced she's about to score a win. And the company? It's chugging along, oblivious to disaster looming. This is the kind of story that hooks you, because you know something's got to give. You know Karen's about to step on a landmine, and you can't wait to see her face when it blows. But what makes it even better is John. He's not just a victim. He's a quiet genius, a man who's been underestimated his whole life. And this time, he's not going down without a fight. Let's zoom in on Karen for a moment. She's the kind of person who'd yell at a barista for getting her latte wrong. Her office is all glass and chrome, a shrine to her ego. Photos of her shaking hands with big shots line the walls. She's had a reputation for being ruthless, and she loves it. To her, firing John isn't personal. It's business. She's not thinking about his years of service or the cane he leans on. She's thinking about her bonus, her stock options, her next big promotion. In her world, people like John are invisible, replaceable. But that's the thing about invisible people. Sometimes they're the ones holding everything together. And when you push them too far, they push back to John. He's not perfect. He's stubborn, set in his ways. He's clashed with bosses before, usually over his designs. But he's always been right. His patents prove it. Those documents, tucked away in a safe, are his legacy. They're also his leverage. He's never flaunted them, never used them to demand a corner office or a fat raise. He's stayed humble, content to let the company thrive off his work. But now he's about to face a choice. Hand over his life's work or walk away with everything he's built. And Karen? She's about to learn that some mistakes can't be undone. Step into the heart of a company that's a powerhouse in the tech world. Picture a sprawling campus, all glass and steel, buzzing with ambition. Rows of desks, glowing monitors, and employees racing to meet deadlines. This isn't just any business. It's a tech giant, the kind that sets trends and crushes competitors. Their flagship product? A sleek, innovative device that's in every home, every office. It's a game changer, a design so brilliant it's untouchable. The kind of thing that makes investors drool and customers line up. But here's the secret nobody talks about. The magic behind this product doesn't come from a team of hotshot engineers. It comes from one man, an old man, a man nobody sees coming. Let's call him John. He's been with the company forever, longer than most of the slick executives running the show. John's not the type to draw attention. He's in his late 60s, with a slight limp and a cane he uses on bad days. His hair's gone gray. His hands shake a little, but his mind? Sharp as a blade. He's a guy who shows up early, stays late, and knows every corner of the company's tech. Back when this place was just a startup, John was there sketching designs on napkins, tweaking prototypes in a cramped garage. He's not just an employee. He's a legend, even if nobody says it out loud. His desk is a time capsule, piles of yellowed notebooks, faded photos, and coffee stains from decades of grind. But don't let his quiet vibe fool you. John's the reason this company's on the map. Now, let's talk about what makes John special. It's not just his work ethic or his knack, for solving impossible problems. It's his patents. Yeah, patents, those legal documents that say, this idea, it's mine. When John was younger, pouring his heart into the company's star product, he didn't just hand over his designs like a good little worker. He was smart. He patented them. Every blueprint, every tweak, every spark of genius that makes the company's device a bestseller, it's legally his. The company uses those designs, of course. They've built an empire on them. But here's the catch. They only get to use them because John's been okay with it. He's let them profit, let them shine, while he keeps working in the shadows. Those patents are his trump card, locked away in a safe, ready if he ever needs them. John's not greedy. He's never waved those patents around, demanding a bigger office or a fatter paycheck. He loves his work, loves the puzzle of creating something new, even with his disability. A back injury from years ago that makes standing tough. He's at his desk every day, tweaking designs, mentoring younger engineers. His colleagues respect him, even if they don't know the full story. To them, he's just John, the guy who's always got an answer. But to the company, he's the foundation. Without his patents, their golden goose stops laying eggs. And that's a truth nobody's thought about in years. Nobody, that is, until a new player steps onto the scene. Enter the CEO. Let's call her Karen, because, well, she earns it. She's the kind of boss who makes you tense up just hearing her heels click down the hall. Karen's new, parachuted in from some other corporate giant. She's all about flash, designer suits, perfect hair, and a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. To her, this company's a stepping stone, a chance to pad her resume and cash out. She's got big plans. Cut costs, boost profits, impress the board. And she's not here to make friends. Karen's the type who'd fire you for using the wrong font in a report. She thrives on control, on being the loudest voice in the room. And when she looks at the company, she doesn't see people. She sees numbers. Numbers that need trimming. Karen's barely been here a month, but she's already stirring things up. Meetings are tense, with her barking orders and slashing budgets. She's obsessed with efficiency. Old processes? Gone. Long-term employees? Replaceable. To her, loyalty's a joke. Experience? Overrated. She wants a lean, mean machine, and she's ready to bulldoze anything in her way. The employees feel it. Whispers spread about layoffs, about Karen's hit list. Nobody knows who's next, but the air's thick with worry. And John? He's not even on her radar. Not yet. To Karen, he's just a line item in the budget, an overpaid fossil who doesn't fit her vision. She hasn't bothered to learn his name, let alone his history. Big mistake. Let's zoom in on the company's vibe. It's a place built on innovation, but it's also a machine that's grown fat and comfortable. The flagship product, John's brainchild, carries them. It's been years since they launched anything new, but they don't need to. That one device keeps the money rolling in. Competitors try to copy it, but they can't. Why? Because John's designs are locked down tight. His patents are a fortress, a legal moat nobody can cross. The company's coasting, and they've forgotten how much they owe to the quiet guy in the corner. John doesn't mind. He's not here for glory. But he's not invisible either. Younger engineers lean on him. Managers quietly rely on his fixes. He's the glue, even if nobody says it. Now, picture Karen's first big meeting. She's at the head of a long table, tossing around buzzwords like disruption and synergy. The room's full of nervous execs, nodding like bobbleheads. She's got a spreadsheet projected on the wall, highlighting inefficiencies. Salaries, overtime, benefits, they're all too high, she says. Her plan? Slash and burn. Replace veterans with fresh grads. Outsource what she can. She's not asking for input. She's telling everyone how it's going to be. And somewhere in that spreadsheet, buried among the numbers, is John's name. Karen doesn't know his story. Doesn't care. To her, he's a cost, not a cornerstone. She's already picturing the praise she'll get for modernizing the team. Let's linger on John for a moment. He's not perfect. He's stubborn. Sometimes grumbles about new tech he doesn't trust. He's had run-ins with bosses before, usually over his designs. But he's always been right. His patents prove it. They're not just legal documents. They're his legacy. Every line, every detail is a piece of him. He's never used them to strong-arm the company, never demanded special treatment. But they're there, a quiet power he's held on to. John's loyal, but he's not naive. He knows the corporate world can be brutal. And deep down, he's ready for a fight, even if he doesn't show it. Karen, though, she's a different beast. She's climbed the ladder by stepping on others. Her last job? Same story. Cut jobs, boost stock, move on. She's got no roots here. No connection to the company's soul. To her, it's all a game. Win or lose. She's already planning her next move. But this time, she's playing with fire. John's not just another employee. His patents aren't just paperwork. They're the company's lifeblood. And Karen? She's about to learn that the hard way. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the clash is coming. You can feel it, can't you? That spark of tension, that itch to see what happens next. This isn't just a story. It's a showdown, and it's going to be epic. The air in the office feels heavy, like the moment before a storm breaks. John, our quiet genius, sits at his desk, unaware of the trap about to snap shut. His cane rests against a chair, his notebook open to a half-finished sketch. He's tweaking a design, same as always, lost in the puzzle of his work. Across the building, Karen, the CEO with a smirk sharper than her stilettos, is ready to make her move. She's got John in her sights, and she's not here to negotiate. This is the moment where everything shifts. The moment where arrogance meets defiance. The moment where a single decision lights the fuse for chaos. Buckle up, because this is about to get intense. Karen's office is a fortress of ego. Glass walls, a desk bigger than most people's cars, and a view that screams power. She's pacing, her phone buzzing with emails from the board. Profits are good, but she wants them better. She's been eyeing the payroll, and John's name keeps popping up. To her, he's a relic, an old guy with a limp, dragging down her vision of a sleek, modern company. She's never met him, never bothered to learn what he does. All she knows is his salary, too high for someone who looks like he belongs in a retirement home. Today's the day she fixes that. Today's the day she streamlines. She sends a memo. Short, cold, final. John, my office, 2 p.m. No pleasantries. No warning. Just a command. John gets the email and frowns. He adjusts his glasses, rereads it. Something feels off. He's been called to meetings before, but this one's different. The tone's sharp like a blade. Still, he shrugs it off. Maybe it's about a new project. Maybe she wants his input. He grabs his cane, smooths his jacket, and heads to the elevator. The office hums around him. Phones ringing, keyboards clacking. Colleagues nod as he passes. But nobody knows what's coming. Not even John. He's calm, steady, the way he's always been. But inside Karen's office, a storm's brewing, and it's about to hit hard. The clock strikes 2. John knocks, steps inside. Karen's behind her desk, all business. No smile, no handshake. Just a folder in front of her, John's name on it. She gestures to a chair, but her eyes say, this won't take long. John sits, his cane propped beside him. He's polite, asks how he can help. Karen doesn't waste time. She leans forward, voice clipped. John, we're making changes. The company's moving in a new direction. We need fresh talent. Your position's being eliminated. The words land like a punch. John blinks, processing. Eliminated? After 30 years? He's not angry yet, just confused. He asks why. Karen's answer is ice. It's business, nothing personal. Now, let's pause. Can you feel the gall of this woman? Firing a man who's given his life to the company, and she doesn't even flinch. To her, John's a number, a line to be crossed out. She's not thinking about his designs, his loyalty, or the cane he grips a little tighter now. She's thinking about her bonus, her reputation. But John's not done. He's not the pushover she expects. He leans forward, voice steady. What about my work? My designs? Karen waves a hand, dismissive. We own everything you've done here. It's company property. Hand over your files, and we're good. That's when John's eyes narrow. That's when the room gets a little colder. John's not loud. He doesn't yell, but his words carry weight. You don't know my patents. Karen freezes. Patents? She wasn't expecting that. She laughs, sharp and mean. Patents? You're an employee. Anything you made belongs to us. John doesn't budge. He explains, slow and clear. I patented my designs before I joined. They're mine. Legally. Always have been. The air shifts. Karen's smirk falters, but only for a second. She recovers, leaning back in her chair. We'll see about that. Clean out your desk. You're done. John doesn't argue. He stands, slow but steady, and walks out. The door clicks shut behind him. And just like that, the battle lines are drawn. Karen's fuming. Who does this guy think he is? Some old man with a cane, talking about patents like he's untouchable? She's not worried. She's got lawyers, money, power. She calls HR, demands John's contract. She wants every scrap of paper he's ever signed. She's sure there's a loophole, a clause that gives the company his designs. Meanwhile, John's back at his desk. He's not shaking, not crying. He's calm, packing his notebooks, his photos. A co-worker asks if he's okay. He just nods, says, I'll be fine. But there's a glint in his eye, a spark. John's not just packing up. He's planning. Let's zoom in on Karen's arrogance. She's in her office, barking orders. Get legal on this. I want those patents. She's convinced John's bluffing. To her, he's a nobody, a speed bump on her road to glory. She doesn't check the patent records, doesn't ask around about John's history. She's too busy picturing the board's applause when she cuts costs. In her mind, the company's unstoppable. John's designs? They're already in production. She assumes they can keep using them, patents or no patents. She's wrong. So wrong. But right now, she's riding high, certain she's won. She even brags to a colleague. That old guy's out. Problem solved. Back in the office, whispers spread. John's firing isn't secret. People are shocked. John, the guy who's been here forever? The guy who fixes everything? Some employees try to talk to him, but he's already leaving, a box under one arm, cane in hand. He doesn't look defeated. He looks ready. Nobody knows about the patents yet, but they know something's off. Karen's made a move, and it's not sitting right. The mood's uneasy, like the company's holding its breath. And John? He's not going home to sulk. He's got a lawyer's number in his pocket. He's got those patents airtight and ironclad. He's got a plan. Karen, though, she's doubling down. She calls a meeting with her inner circle. John's gone. We're fine. Keep production rolling. She's so sure the company's in the clear. She tells her team to pull John's designs from the system. Keep using them. He can't stop us, she says, tossing her hair. Her team nods, but a few exchange glances. They know John's work is the core of the product. They've seen his name on old blueprints. They're not so sure Karen's got this under control. But nobody speaks up. Not yet. Karen's too loud, too certain. She's steamrolling everyone, and it's working. For now, let's linger on John for a moment. He's in his car, driving home. The box of his belongings rattles in the back seat. His hands grip the wheel, steady despite the tremor. He's angry, sure, but it's a quiet anger, focused. He's thinking about his patents, about the years he spent building them. He's thinking about Karen's smirk, her dismissal. He's not the type to beg. Never has been. But he's also not the type to roll over. Those patents are his life's work, his legacy, and he's not about to let some corporate bully take them. He's already planning his next move, and it's going to hit harder than Karen could ever imagine. The office keeps buzzing, but it's different now. Karen's victory lap feels hollow. Employees talk in hushed tones. Did you hear about John? Why'd she fire him? Nobody's saying it out loud, but they're wondering. Is Karen's new direction a mistake? Is she pushing too far? The company's still running. The product's still selling. But there's a crack in the foundation. A crack nobody sees yet. Except John. He's out the door, but he's not out of the game. And Karen? She's just lit a match in a room full of dynamite. The explosion's coming, and it's going to be one heck of a show. The office is still buzzing, but something's off. Karen's strutting around like she's just won a war, oblivious to the ticking time bomb she set off. John's gone, his desk empty, his cane no longer tapping down the hall. She thinks she's in control, that firing him was a clean cut, a problem solved. But the truth? She's just poured gasoline on her own empire and lit a match. The company's about to learn a brutal lesson, and it all starts with those patents, John's patents. The ones Karen didn't bother to check. The ones that hold the key to everything. Get ready, because this is where the story flips, and it's a twist that'll leave your jaw on the floor. Let's rewind a bit. Karen's back in her glass-walled office, sipping her overpriced latte, barking orders to her team. Keep production rolling, she says. Pull John's designs from the system. We're fine. She's so sure of herself, it's almost painful. Her team scrambles, loading up the blueprints for the company's star product, the device that keeps the cash flowing. They're ready to send the latest batch to the factory. But then, a junior engineer pipes up, voice shaky. Boss? These designs are patented. By John. Not us. Karen laughs it off. Patents? We've been using them forever. He's gone. Doesn't matter. Oh, Karen, you sweet, clueless disaster. It matters. It matters a lot. The next morning, the legal team gets involved. Karen's still not worried. She's got a squad of high-priced lawyers, the kind who chew up problems like this for breakfast. She tells them to handle it. They dig into the patent records, expecting an easy win. But what they find stops them cold. John wasn't bluffing. His patents are airtight, filed years ago, before he even joined the company. Every detail of the flagship product, the circuits, the casing, the core tech, it's all locked under his name. The company's been using them under a licensing agreement, one John never signed away. And now that he's fired, that agreement's dead. The lawyers' faces go pale. They call Karen. We can't use these designs. Not legally. Not anymore. Karen's not buying it. She slams her fist on the desk. What do you mean we can't use them? We've built everything on this. The head lawyer's voice is grim. Without John's permission, we're done. No production. No sales. If we try, he can sue us into oblivion. The room goes quiet. Karen's smirk is gone. For the first time, she feels a flicker of doubt, but she shakes it off, snaps at her team. Find a workaround. Now. She's still clinging to her arrogance, convinced she can outsmart this. Spoiler alert, she can't. The company's in deep trouble, and it's only getting worse. Let's shift to John. He's not sitting at home feeling sorry for himself. He's in his small apartment, paper spread across the kitchen table. His patents neatly filed, sit in a folder. He's on the phone with his lawyer, a sharp woman who's been with him for years. They fired me, he says, voice calm but firm. They think they can keep my designs. What's our play? The lawyer doesn't hesitate. They've got nothing without your patents. You hold the cards. Want to hit back? John pauses, staring at the photo of his late wife on the wall. Then he nods. Let's do it. This isn't about revenge. Not yet. It's about justice. And John's about to play his hand like a master. John's next move is bold. He doesn't beg Karen for his job back. Doesn't send a polite email asking for an apology. Instead, he picks up the phone and calls the one place Karen would never expect. The company's biggest rival. This competitor's been trying to crack the market for years, but they've never come close. Why? Because John's designs are untouchable. Until now, John's lawyer sets up a meeting. The rival CEO is all ears. You're saying you own the patents to their product? They ask. John nods, sliding the documents across the table. Every single one. And I'm ready to talk. The rival's eyes light up. This isn't just a deal. It's a knockout punch. The meeting moves fast. John's not here to haggle. He's got leverage, and he knows it. The rival company offers to buy his patents outright, a massive sum, enough to set him up for life. John listens, considers. He could take the money and walk away. But he's not done yet. He counters. Buy the patents or license them. Your choice. But I want a stake in what you build. The rival agrees, no hesitation. They shake hands, and just like that, the game changes. The company that's been eating Karen's lunch for years now is John's Designs, and they're ready to use them. Back at Karen's company, the cracks are starting to show. Production's on hold. The factory's waiting for designs that aren't coming. Customers are calling, asking where their orders are. Karen's getting emails from the board, and they're not happy. What's the holdup, they demand? She's dodging, stalling, throwing out excuses. It's a small hiccup, she says, forcing a smile. But inside, she's panicking. The lawyers come back with more bad news. John's not budging, and we've got word he's talking to competitors. Karen's stomach drops. Competitors? She laughs, but it's hollow. He's bluffing. He's nobody. Her team exchanges looks. They're not so sure. Then the bomb drops. A press release hits the wires. The rival company announces a groundbreaking new product, set to launch in months. The description sounds awfully familiar. Too familiar. It's John's design, tweaked just enough to skirt any legal gray areas. Karen's team scrambles to confirm. They pull the rival's filings, and there it is, John's patents, now licensed to the enemy. The office goes quiet. Karen's face is white. How did this happen? She snaps. Nobody answers. They don't need to. She fired John. She ignored his patents. She thought she could bully him into submission. And now, her company's golden product is dead in the water. Karen's in full damage control mode. She calls an emergency meeting, screaming at her team, "Fix this. Get those designs back." But there's nothing to fix. John's patents are gone, legally transferred to the rival. The lawyers are blunt. We can't produce without his permission, and he's not giving it. Karen's losing it. She paces, muttering about lawsuits, about teaching John a lesson. But deep down, she knows. She's out of moves. The board's breathing down her neck. Investors are asking questions, and the rival's new product is already making waves, stealing customers before it even hits the market. Let's linger on John for a moment. He's back at his apartment, sipping coffee, watching the news. The rival's press release is trending. His phone's buzzing. Old colleagues shocked, texting their support. He doesn't gloat. That's not his style. But there's a quiet satisfaction in his eyes. He didn't just walk away. He fought back, and he's winning. His patents, his life's work, are now powering a new empire. And Karen? She's learning what happens when you underestimate the wrong guy. The company's in chaos. Managers are scrambling, trying to pivot to a new product, but it's too late. The flagship device was their lifeline. Without it, they're bleeding money. Karen's still in her office, but the confidence is gone. She's snapping at everyone, blaming her team, blaming John, blaming anyone but herself. Her phone keeps ringing, board members furious, demanding answers. She's trying to spin it, promising a bold new strategy. But nobody's buying it. The truth is sinking in. She fired the one man who held the company together, and now she's watching it crumble. John, meanwhile, is already looking ahead. The rival's deal is just a start. He's got plans, maybe consulting, maybe new designs. For the first time in years, he feels free. His cane still by his side, his hands still tremble, but his mind's as sharp as ever. He's not done creating, not done fighting. And Karen? She's about to face the real cost of her mistake. The storm's here, and it's only getting wilder. The company's crumbling, and it's like watching a house of cards collapse in slow motion. The once buzzing office is a ghost town now. Machines sit idle. Phones ring unanswered. The sleek tech giant that ruled the market is choking, and it's all because of one woman's arrogance. Karen, the CEO who thought she could bully her way to glory, is scrambling to save face. But the damage is done. John's patents are gone, snapped up by a rival, and the company's flagship product, the one that paid for Karen's corner office, is dead. Meanwhile, John's out there, living his best life. This is the fallout, and it's as brutal as it is satisfying. Stick around, because this is where it gets real. Picture the factory floor. Just weeks ago, it was a hive of activity. Workers assembling the company's star device, boxes stacking up for shipment. Now, it's silent. The production line's frozen. Without John's patents, they can't legally make a single unit. The blueprints are useless, locked behind legal walls Karen can't climb. She's screaming at her team, demanding they find a fix. But there's no fix. The lawyers are blunt. We try to produce, we get sued. End of story. Karen's face twists, her usual smirk replaced by a scowl. She's not used to losing. But losing she is, and it's only getting worse. The numbers tell a grim tale. Sales are tanking. Orders are canceled. Customers aren't waiting around. They're jumping ship, flocking to a rival company that's now using John's designs. That competitor's new product, built on the patents John licensed, is flying off the shelves. It's not just a hit, it's a revolution. Reviewers call it a future, and the rival stock is soaring. Karen's company, meanwhile, is bleeding cash. Warehouses sit full of parts they can't use. Investors are panicking, dumping shares like they're toxic. The board's on the phone daily, their voices sharp with anger. What happened? They demand. Karen's dodging, spinning lies about temporary setbacks. But the truth is clawing its way out. Let's zoom in on Karen. She's in her office, blinds half drawn, paper scattered. The glass walls that once screamed power now feel like a cage. Her phone's blowing up, emails, texts, voicemails, all bad news. A major client just pulled out, citing supply issues. Another's suing for late deliveries. She's yelling at her assistant, blaming everyone but herself. Get me the lawyers, she snaps. Get me the board. But the lawyers have no answers, and the board's done listening. They're circling, smelling blood. Karen's not just fighting for her company now. She's fighting for her job, and it's a fight she's losing. The employees feel it too. The ones who are left, anyway. Layoffs are hitting hard. Karen's streamlining plan is backfiring and morale's in the gutter. People whisper in the break room, trading stories about John. He warned her, one says. She didn't listen. Another nods. Those patents were everything. They're not wrong. John's designs were the company's heart, and Karen ripped it out. Now, the hallways are quiet, the coffee machine's cold, and the few workers left are updating their resumes. They know a sinking ship when they see one, and this one's going down fast. Let's shift to John. He's not gloating. That's not his style. He's in a cozy new home, bought with a fortune from his patent deal. The place is modest but warm, with a big window where sunlight pours in. His cane's by the door, his old notebook stacked neatly on a shelf. He's sipping tea, flipping through a tech magazine. There's an article about the rival's new product, his designs front and center. He smiles just a little. The money's nice, millions more than he ever dreamed. But it's not about that. It's about respect. About proving he wasn't invisible. About showing Karen what happens when you kick the wrong guy to the curb. John's not done either. He's been getting calls. Consultants, startups, even universities. Everyone wants a piece of his brain. He's thinking about teaching, maybe mentoring young engineers. His tremor is still there, his back still aches, but his mind's buzzing with ideas. The rival company's already talking about a new project, and John's got a stake in it. He's not just surviving, he's thriving. His phone pings, a text from an old colleague. You showed them, John. He doesn't reply, but his smile widens. This is his victory, quiet but undeniable. Back at the company, Karen's world is unraveling. The board calls an emergency meeting. She walks in, trying to project confidence, but her hands are shaking. The room's cold, the faces around the table colder. They've seen the numbers. They've read the rival's press release. They know about John's patents. You fired him, one board member says, voice like steel. You didn't check his patents? Karen stammers, tries to deflect. I was cutting costs. He was dead weight. But the room's not buying it. Another member leans forward. You cost us everything. The word hangs in the air. Everything. The company's lifeline, its reputation, its future, all gone because of her. Karen's humiliation is public now. Tech blogs are eating it up. Headlines scream about the patent fiasco and the CEO's fatal mistake. Social media is brutal. Memes of Karen, labeled corporate Karen. are everywhere, her smirking headshot plastered over sinking ships and dumpster fires. Employees leak stories to Reddit, painting her as the villain she is. She fired our best guy. One post reads, "Now we're screwed." The comments pile up, thousands strong, cheering for John. He's the hero, the underdog who fought back. Karen's a punchline, and it stings. The company's scrambling to pivot, but it's a mess. They're throwing money at new designs, but nothing sticks. The rival's too far ahead, powered by John's genius. Customers aren't coming back. Retailers are dropping the brand. Karen's team is in chaos, with managers quitting and engineers jumping to the rival. The office feels like a funeral. Karen's still there, clinging to her title, but her power is slipping. She's not leading meetings anymore. She's being summoned to them. The board's whispering about leadership changes. Her emails go unanswered. Her coffee's cold. She's not the queen anymore. She's a liability. Let's linger on the rival for a moment. Their factory's humming, churning out John's designs. Their ads are everywhere, billboards, YouTube, TV. The future is here. They boast, and the world's buying it. Their CEOs on talk shows praising our new tech, conveniently leaving out John's name. But John doesn't care. He's got his cut, his steak, his piece. He's watching from the sidelines, content to let them shine. His patents are doing what they were meant to do, changing the game. Just not for Karen's company. For them, it's game over. Karen's still fighting, but it's desperate now. She's pitching wild ideas to board, mergers, rebrands, anything to stop the bleeding. She's even floated suing John, but the lawyers shut it down. He's untouchable, they say. You fired him. He played by the rules. Karen's rage is palpable. She's not used to being outsmarted, especially not by an old man she wrote off as useless. She's replaying that meeting in her head, the one where John said, "You don't own my patents." She should have listened, should have checked, but she didn't, and now she's paying the price. John's life, meanwhile, is a stark contrast. He's got a new routine, mornings his garden, afternoons sketching ideas. He's even planning a trip, something he hasn't done in years. The money's freed him, but it's the respect that fuels him. He's not invisible anymore. His story's spreading, inspiring others. He's a guy who stood up to a corporate bully and won. And Karen? She's a cautionary tale. The CEO who thought she could steamroll everyone and ended up flat on her face. The company's still sinking, the rival's still rising, and the gap between John's peace and Karen's panic is growing by the day. The dust is still settling, and the air's thick with the fallout of Karen's colossal blunder. Her company's reeling, a tech giant brought to its knees by one man's quiet strength. John, the elderly engineer she dismisses deadweight, is now living a life she could only dream of, free, respected, and flush with cash from his patent deal. Karen, meanwhile, is drowning in her own arrogance, her once shiny office a prison of her making. This story's been a wild ride, hasn't it? A tale of snap judgments, underdogs, and the kind of justice that makes you want to cheer. Let's dig into what this all means, because there's a lesson here that hits hard, and it's one you'll want to carry with you. Think about Karen for a second. She stormed into that company like a hurricane, all sharp suits and sharper words. She saw John, older, disabled, unassuming, and made a call without blinking. Fire him. Save a buck. Move on. It's the kind of decision you see in boardrooms every day. Quick, cold, thoughtless. She didn't pause to ask who John was, what he'd built, or why his name was on every key design. She just assumed she knew better. That's the trap, isn't it? Thinking you've got it all figured out. Thinking you can size someone up in a glance and not pay a price. Karen's learning that lesson the hard way, and at a masterclass in what not to do. Now picture John. He's not a superhero. He's just a guy, gray hair, bad back, a cane he leans on when the pain kicks in. But he's also a genius, a man who poured decades into his craft. He didn't flaunt his patents or demand a spotlight. He just worked, day after day, letting the company profit off his brilliance. When Karen swung the axe, he could have crumbled, could have begged. Instead, he stood tall, took his patents, and flipped the game. That's what makes this story sing. It's not just about a Karen getting her comeuppance. It's about someone like John, someone the world overlooks, proving they're worth more than gold. Let's talk about that lesson again, because it's not just about patents or corporate drama. It's about people. Every day, we cross paths with folks we might dismiss. The quiet coworker, the older neighbor, the person who doesn't fit the mold. Karen saw John's age as Cain and wrote him off. She didn't see his mind, his grit, his power, and that's where she went wrong. Judging someone by how they look or move is a shortcut to disaster. It's a mistake we've all made, maybe without thinking. But stories like this, they're a wake-up call. They remind us to look deeper, to ask questions, to give respect where it's due. Because you never know who's holding the keys to the kingdom. Karen's paying for that mistake now. Her company's a mess. Production stopped, customers are gone, and the rival's eating her lunch. She's got nobody to blame but herself, and that's the kicker. She walked into that office thinking she was untouchable, a queen calling the shots. But queens fall when they misjudge their knights. John was her knight, the one who kept the castle standing. And she didn't just push him out. She handed him to the enemy. Now her phone's ringing off the hook, board members snarling, and her name's a punchline online. It's the kind of downfall that makes you wince and cheer at the same time. John's story, though, it's pure gold. He's not out there rubbing it in. That's not who he is. He's in his new home, sketching ideas, planning his next move. The money's great, millions from that patent deal. But it's more than that. It's freedom. It's respect. It's knowing he didn't let Karen win. He's getting calls now, people begging for his advice, his expertise. He's not invisible anymore. He's the guy who took on a corporate bully and walked away taller. That's the kind of win that sticks with you, the kind that makes you want to root for the underdog every time. Let's keep this real for a moment. We've all seen a Karen in action. Maybe it's a boss who snaps at everyone. Maybe it's someone cutting corners, thinking they're above the rules. They're loud, they're pushy, and they're sure they've got all under control. But when they crash, it's spectacular. Karen's crash is one for the books. Her company's crumbling, her reputation's toast, and she's got nobody to point the finger at. It's a reminder. Arrogance is a ticking bomb. You can only steamroll people for so long before it blows up in your face. And when it does, the world's watching and it's not pretty. Now, let's get you in on this. You've been with us through this whole saga. Karen's blunder, John's triumph, the company's collapse. What do you think? Have you ever seen a Karen get what's coming to them? Maybe a boss who fired the wrong person, or a manager who underestimated someone's worth. Drop it in the comments. We want to hear your stories. The juicier, the better. And while you're there, hit that like button. It tells us you're loving this as much as we are. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me, it's going to be good. Speaking of what's next, we've got more stories like this on the way. Think epic takedowns, satisfying revenge, and underdogs stealing the show. We're digging up tales that'll make you laugh, gasp, and maybe even fist pump the air. If you're into seeing arrogant types like Karen get schooled, you're in the right place. Stick with us, because we're just getting started. There's a whole world of drama out there, and we're bringing it straight to your screen. Every video's a new chance to see justice served, and we know you're here for it. Let's take a second to appreciate John again. He's not just a character in this story. He's proof that you don't need to be loud or flashy to win. He's the guy who kept his cool, played his cards right, and walked away a legend. His patents were his power, but his strength was his heart. He didn't let Karen's cruelty break him. He didn't let her arrogance define him. He just kept being John, steady, smart, unbreakable. That's the kind of person you want to root for. The kind of person who reminds you that the quiet ones often have the loudest impact. Karen, on the other hand, is a warning sign in heels. She's a poster child for what happens when you think you're above everyone else. Her office might still have her name on the door, but it's a hollow victory. The board's whispering. The employees are jumping ship, and the rivals laughing all the way to the bank. She's got to face the mirror every day, knowing she lit the match that burned her empire down. It's not just a business failure. It's personal. It's the kind of sting that doesn't fade, the kind that follows you long after the headlines die. We're not done with this vibe yet. Stories like John's and Karen's, They're everywhere. They're in offices, in neighborhoods, in places you'd never expect. They're about people who get underestimated and fight back, about egos that soar too high and crash too hard. We're hooked on finding them, telling them, sharing them with you. So keep those comments coming. Tell us what you want to see next. More corporate chaos? More underdog wins? We're listening, and we're ready to deliver. Before we go, let's give a nod to you. You're the reason we're here, diving into these stories, spinning them into something you can't look away from. Thanks for watching, for sticking with us through every twist and turn. You're not just an audience, you're part of this. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's keep this rolling. There's more drama, more justice, more epic moments waiting, and we can't wait to bring them to you. For now, take this story with you. Think about John. Think about Karen. Think about what it means to underestimate someone. And get ready, because the next one's going to hit just as hard.